What's up, everyone? So in this episode, I want to talk about some of my top holdings and some of the news that broke out about these companies. Now, the first company I want to talk about today is Digital Turbine. Now, Digital Turbine just reported their fiscal 2020 third quarter results, and man, did they deliver. Now, they reported third quarter revenue of $88.6 million, representing a 146% annual growth. Now, their application media revenue increased 58% year over year to $56.9 million, and content media revenue totaled $31.7 million. Now, their net income was $14.5 million, or 15 cents per share, with a non-GAAP adjusted net income coming out to be $20 million, or 21 cents per share. The company's application media software was installed on approximately 65 million devices just during the third quarter, and has now been installed on more than 570 million devices to date. This is one of the main reasons I love Digital Turbine. They're continuously getting more of their software on the devices, which once they have, it acts as a pool of recurring revenue for them. Now let's compare this to their expectations. Now, as we talked about earlier, their earnings adjusted came out to be 21 cents per share, with the average estimate being 16 cents per share. Now, they posted the 88.6 million in this period, which significantly beat their analyst expectations of 75.1 million. Now, they expect the full year earnings to be 67 cents per share, with revenue in the range of around 300 million. Now, looking at Digital Turbine's earnings history by quarter, we can see that from 2020, they started significantly beating their revenue and EPS. So we can see in the later half of 2019 that they missed both their EPS and revenue. However, from 2020 on, they started beating, both on the top line and bottom line. Now, in the first two quarters of 2020, they beat by only about $1 million. However, in the last half of 2020, they beat by about 10 million. And in this quarter, as we saw earlier, they beat again by 10 million. So this is really great to see. Even as they continue to surpass their expectations, they're blowing it out of the water. And we can see the market reacting pretty well to this news, as they're up about 14% in aftermarket. I truly believe Apps is going to hit $100 by the end of this year. And I still think getting it around this price of $70 would be a good entry point if you're thinking about the long term. So another one of my biggest holdings that I actually talked about in one of my earlier videos is Palantir. Now, Palantir announced their date of fourth quarter 2020 earnings, which is going to be released on Tuesday, February 16th, 2021. So it's not for another couple of weeks or so. So as we all know, Palantir went IPO in 2020 and has seen an amazing run in the past year. Now, they've only reported earnings once as a public company. We can see that the consensus estimate was 2 cents for EPS. They reported 9 cents. Their revenue estimate was about 279 million, and the actual revenue was 289 million. So they beat on the both top and bottom line. Now, my guess and hopes is that they beat pretty significantly like they did in the last quarter. Now, I think they have a pretty good chance of beating because they've closed out 2020 with nearly $150 million in new government contracts. Now, it'll be really interesting to see how well Foundry does on the commercial side and how well that side of their business does for them. Now, Palantir has been pretty volatile in this past year. We can see that it shot up all the way back in late November and was trading in that range ever since. Now, after all the meme stocks and short squeezes started happening, Palantir shot up all the way to a high of about $45. After that, it's been trading down ever since and is now sitting around $31. Now, I backtested the support line about $30, and we can see that it held yesterday. Now, today, it was up about 2%, and I think building position here would be a good time to get in. Now, we can always see this stock drop all the way down and start testing this support line around $27. However, I think with earnings coming up, I can definitely see the stock continuing to rise as the hype and anticipation rises. And if they beat, you won't see this price around $30 anymore. So for me personally, if this breaks, I would be interested in adding more to my position. However, I am very heavy in it, so I might just buy some call options there. Lastly, you know how to do it, but let's talk about CCIV, reportedly merging with Lucid Motors. So what happened today was there's a couple articles that came out saying that there's no imminent Lucid Motors SPAC merger, which sent the shares crashing today. The Wall Street Journal says no deal is imminent. We can see this reporter, Elliot Brown, with his title, Electric Car Buzz Pushes Up Shares in Company with Nothing But Cash. CCIV's stock has more than tripled on report it is in talks with Lucid Motors. Also on Twitter, some guy named Walter Bloomberg came out and said, Churchill Capital deal with Lucid isn't imminent. Honestly, I find this all pretty hilarious as it's obvious it hasn't been announced yet. So when people say the deal isn't imminent or it hasn't been done yet, it's not like this is revolutionary news. We already knew that. So what I think is happening is people are just getting impatient, are wanting to profit take, and that's why we're seeing a sell-off. Now, CCIV has been on an amazing run. Thankfully, I got in on the second day of the announcement where it was trading around $14. And honestly, it's been on an amazing ride ever since. So even if it's pulled back maybe 15%, it's still up at an all-time high. Well, if you don't have a position, you need to understand that if you buy in now, you have significantly more risk. Until the announcement of the merger, it will consistently be trading up and down. So if you do decide to buy into the stock, you do need to have the gut for the volatility. Now we can see even in the post-market, trading around $27, it's backtesting the support line that's in an uptrend. So it's still bullish right now. Until it breaks this support line, then we can see further downside. So if I were you and don't have a position, I would wait to see what happens tomorrow. If it drops below, we can definitely see this dip down even further. However, if it continues to hold this, I can definitely see this push back up and start trading above 30 again. Alright guys, well that's pretty much the whole entire episode. I just wanted to talk about the 3 biggest holdings that I have in my account. Now I'm happy to share my positions with you guys because I want to be as transparent as possible on this channel. I think it's really important to not just talk the talk, but to be able to show exactly what's going on behind closed doors. Now I definitely didn't expect CCIV to instantly become one of my largest positions, although I did put a lot of my own capital into it. However, this is just the state of where it's at right now. Now, I'm happy to share this information with you guys because I talked about CCIV, Palantir, and apps and all recommended it on my channel. So this is currently where I'm at right now. These are my positions and I do not plan on selling this anytime soon. So with that guys, thanks for watching the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And with that, I'll see you in the next video and let's go get that bag.